When we're standing up, we got a little bit of a belly, child, you can't see your punani, all right? You gotta kind of take a look like that. But now I can see my girl. I'm like, oh, hey, girl. Oh, you need to be shaved, child. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. I am doing a huge giveaway at the end of the month for Hailey. I feel like it's the perfect time to do it. It is literally the giving season. All you guys need to do is subscribe to the channel, and I know when you do, it lets me know. Also, to comment and engage with each Hailey video. Comment anything that you want. I will just be able to know that you are a part of the giveaway just by your comment alone. And I'm going to pick someone at the end of the month. I'm going to put a whole playlist together for Hailey so you guys can keep up. And I know it's going to take you guys some time to watch because you're busy. So I'm going to pick the winner probably between December 25th and January 1st. But good luck to everyone. I love you all. And yeah, happy Hailey. Yesterday's video did so amazing. And I really want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for being so receptive to my story. If you've been following me for some time, then you already know that I have battled my weight loss since my early 20s, and I really have struggled with so many different things working and not working for me. And I have to say that this is the first time in my life where I have seen exceptional results so fast. I wanted to do a part 2 where I discuss healing the gut, fasting a little bit more, IBS, and any of the questions that you guys have for me. I actually went on Instagram, which if you don't follow me on there, then please do. I asked you guys to ask me whatever questions you guys wanted to know in regards to my last video, which essentially was all about how I lost 31 pounds. And you guys really flooded my question box. So I have a lot of things that I want to answer today that you guys don't know about. And hopefully I can get to the bottom of it today. I want to say before getting started that being someone who has struggled with my weight for a very long time is a very sensitive and not necessarily triggering topic, but just it's something that definitely makes me feel a type of way. And I would never get on here and share with you guys an in-depth story if I felt like it didn't work and if I felt like it wasn't something that meant something to me. Everybody's body is different. What works for me is not going to work for some of you, and that is just life, because the amount of people that I have followed prior to now, like their workout plans and their eating plans, and all of those things did not work out for me. And this was the thing that literally changed me. And the reason I know for a fact that this is what did it was I saw results immediately, where it wasn't something that took a while. That's how I know, oh my God, I was dealing with hormonal imbalance. I was healing my gut. I was detoxing. And I still have been since starting this journey, which essentially was on like September 25th, 26th. It hasn't even been 3 months fully yet. So it is something that means a lot to me. I struggled with certain things. I struggled with being out of breath. I struggled with painful bloating. I struggled with hormonal acne. I struggled with fatigue and, just not feeling fully like aware and awake and ready to conquer because of all of the things that were causing me to be in that space. And to lose weight wasn't just about my physical, which of course it's my favorite thing that has come out of it, but it has really been about healing my gut, which essentially has a lot to do with the brain. When you heal your gut, your brain improves as well because they are connected. And I didn't realize the mental clarity that I needed in order to feel really great in my skin. So hopefully this Q&A can help you guys today and answer some of your questions. Okay, the first question that somebody had for me was, how did I know that I had IBS? So back in, I want to say 2018 or 2017, I'm not really sure what year it was, I went vegan, cold turkey. I watched What the Health on Netflix, went vegan, and I'm a little bit of an extremist. I've noticed this about myself throughout the years. I get very obsessed with things and I become an extremist. So like even when I was super young, I saw Supersized and I didn't eat McDonald's for like literally 6 years because of it, because it disgusted me. So going vegan was not a surprise to me at all. And I stayed vegan for a really long time. Back in 2017, I went vegan and I experienced a very painful episode. I remember I got very sick one night and I swore it was this restaurant that me and my ex went to, and it got me so sick and so grossed out that I was like sick for like 3 or 4 days, like just feeling like I was gonna throw up. I felt sick, I felt uncomfortable, and then the sickness never stopped. It just continued and I was worried. I'm like, okay, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 3 weeks, it's been 4 weeks, and I still don't feel 100%. And I really actually thought it was a stomach bug originally or food poisoning, but then I realized, oh my God, I think this is really my body now. And essentially I went to a doctor and they said, we think you have IBS. You should go back to eating meat, going back to your old lifestyle, because you might just be having some sort of like issue with your stomach due to the vegan transition. And I was petrified because I went vegan because I was grossed out by meat. So I wouldn't have been able to eat meat again, even though the doctor told me to. So I was like so big on like trying to heal my IBS and trying to fix it on my own, still being vegan. And I did experience a lot of painful bloating and uncomfortability in my skin. I didn't leave the house. I was very uncomfortable. You can ask anyone who knew me at the time. Like, I was a hibernating bear that entire year. I want to say for the majority of 2017, like the end of it, because I think I got IBS. I want to say I was like diagnosed with IBS in like August. And from August to January, I didn't even pretty much leave my house. I barely ate. I was sick all the time. I was always on the toilet. I could not sleep. It kept me up all night. And I was very depressed. It pushed me in extreme depression. If anybody's ever struggled with any type of stomach issues, then you know the depression it brings on. Anyone who has Crohn's or IBS or anything in that realm will understand the depression it brings on, the anxiety it brings on, and just it puts you in such a bad way. So long story short, I had an extreme episode one night that resulted in me going into the ER. My mom ended up driving me to the ER. I had a CAT scan done and all that stuff, and come to find out, I had diverticuli in my colon. It was very scary, and I was like, Jesus, like this is, story of my life. And I was told by multiple doctors, like, get a colonoscopy, get an endoscopy. I already had an endoscopy. They didn't find anything. They just said that I might have a little bit of a sluggish gallbladder. There were so many different things that I was told, and it was very obvious to me that I had a leaky gut, a very uncomfortable gut, IBS to the extreme. It wasn't just I have IBS. No, it was debilitating. It was not allowing me to get out of bed. I couldn't be, more than, 5 feet from a bathroom because I was petrified that I was going to need to use the bathroom. It was so bad. And I was trying out different things. And long story short, it ended up just going away on its own. It one day just disappeared. And I don't know why. I wasn't doing anything different diet-wise. I was still being vegan at the time or whatever, but I was so petrified of getting it again. And I knew that from that point forward that I had a leaky gut. I had gut issues, and that is the reason why I technically cannot go on Ozempic. Having diverticuli in the colon is insane. You guys can look it up. There's things like colitis, which is scary, IBS, Crohn's, and just a leaky gut in general. And then, having a sluggish gallbladder. I have so many stomach issues. And no wonder why I was so bloated and uncomfortable. My body was so hormonally imbalanced. And I started going down a rabbit hole back then of different books that I can read that can help me heal. And when I had met Aisha, she was so obsessed with the medical medium. So I was reading some of his things, and I noticed that he had some like diet things on Pinterest that I ended up downloading. And by the way, if you guys have any type of intestinal issue or just body issue, he talks about healing the body overall. So the medical medium books are chef's kiss. I also have a book from Michael Greger called How Not to Die. I've talked about it a few times and I love it. But for me, the biggest thing that I want you guys to know is the power of food. And I don't know why I've had all this information in front of me all these years. I have the books. I have the Pinterest boards saved. I have, the information I was told by doctors, and yet I didn't realize about doing like an eliminating diet and, figuring out, okay, what stuff is bloating you? What stuff is making you fat? What stuff is making you look like a different person? You guys saw the before and after photos. My face is completely different, and it all is a matter of what I'm not eating. It's insane. The 3 pillars for optimized health is, your blood sugar, inflammation, and your gut health. Those are the 3 things that you need to really focus on getting your body together. Not only will this internally glow you up, but it will externally glow you up. When you heal your gut, when you start to do things better for your body and what works for your skin, your body, and how you function as a person, you will see dramatic differences in your appearance. Your body is gonna look different, your face is gonna slim out, your skin is gonna clear up. You're going to literally not smell, your hygiene is going to improve. You might even notice your hair growing faster. You're gonna notice, different things happening to you when you heal your gut. It's insane. I'm gonna discuss it more today in the Q&A. So another question that somebody somebody had asked me, and I have my questions right here on my phone, is vitamins or supplements that I take. So I have been taking women's probiotics for years, and I will link them down below. And I also had L-glutamine and the colon broom powders to help with gut issues and just bloating and things like that. And they do work, but the best thing that I will tell you, like advice-wise, at least from my perspective, is the vitamins that I consume in food have been the most helpful. The nutrients and vitamins that we need for our skin that come from our gut is things like vitamin A and zinc and omega-3s. And when we are consuming things, the absorption of these nutrients happens for us and it radiates in our skin. So when I first started this particular plan, I don't want to call it a diet, but when I first started this lifestyle, I was consuming a lot of, different supplements and things like that. But then I took a little break to see, okay, like what will the foods do? Because I really wanted to see, this was more of a study of like, what can I do food-wise that I'm going to notice differences in? And I noticed that the most vitamins that I'm consuming that are really helping me externally are vitamins that are in foods. And I also wrote down here that there are enriched foods with probiotics and prebiotics in it. Things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, leeks, berries. These are pro and prebiotics. So definitely look up different foods that are good for certain hormonal imbalances or certain things that you're maybe struggling with, or to really just actually have better gut health. There are foods that you can eat and, doing an elimination diet and things like that to see what is triggering you and what is helping you. Personally, for me, the vitamins and foods that I eat that I've noticed have given me the best results is I eat a lot of fennel. So I will buy fennel at the grocery store, chop it up, put it in the oven with a little bit of like extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper.
Pat it dry, cut off the fronds and set them aside for later. Cut off a little bit of the woody part on top, cut the bottom, put it vertical like this, and cut the fennel in half. Cut each half into wedges. Try to make them all the same size. There's no need to remove the outer layers unless they're heavily bruised. Transfer the cut fennels onto the baking tray, lined with parchment paper, seasoned with extra virgin olive oil, salt, and black pepper. Give it a quick toss, arrange them on a single layer, and bake in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes or until buttery tender. Now you can eat them like this, they're delicious. Or you can sprinkle with Parmesan cheese or dairy-free Parmesan and put it back in the oven for about 5 minutes with the broiler function, or until the Parmesan melts and the fennel is golden brown. Now transfer the fennel onto a serving platter, sprinkle with finely chopped fennel fronds, and this is roasted fennel.
Peppers have been really great for me. Cucumbers, a lot of like water dense foods have been really helpful for me. Like anything that has a lot of water. I used to really love leafy greens back in the day, but I do notice that leafy greens do cause me to bloat a lot more. So they do say to massage your kale and your leafy greens and to rinse them well because that could be the reason for the bloating. Even beans, like I've really strayed away from beans recently. Like I'm not doing chickpeas, I'm not doing beans because they make me bloated. They like don't make me look good. I look crazy when I eat beans. So that is just something to note. Everybody's body's different and you need to know what foods are causing bloating and what aren't. And the best way to do that is elimination diet. The next question is, has it affected your period? So actually, yes, in the best way possible. Your gut actually affects your menstrual cycle. And I was concerned when I first started doing this that my period was either going to be late or it wasn't going to come. My period comes on time every single month since I've been doing this, where before it was a little bit spotty, it wasn't coming as well, and it would come late. Now it's coming on time and it's a healthy amount of flow. So I don't know what that's about, but I believe that when you heal your gut and your body and you change your hormones, and I fixed my hormonal imbalance, my period is normal again. And I haven't had a normal period in years. So my period is not worse or anything. A lot of people think that like fasting or not eating will affect your period. It did, but in a good way for me. The next question was, do I have constipation? I do not. That was something that I did hear was a big thing in taking like semaglutide or Ozempic, was that a lot of the girls that are taking it are constipated, and they suggest, taking like magnesium or fiber drinks. I think that if you ever are struggling with constipation, magnesium should be in your diet, fiber should be in your diet, and any type of pro and prebiotic that will help clean you out. Metamucil, guys, like Metamucil is great for that. So definitely, do your research on what is going to help you, but I have not dealt with any constipation, and that has been I think the biggest reason why this has been working for me is because I'm not backed up anymore. Think about it. When you're backed up, all of that dirty ass shit is sitting in your intestines and sitting in your colon for Lord knows how long, and it's causing your body to be sick. You're bloated, your skin breaks out, things just happen. And when you get to release yourself properly, like I feel like it really helps externally. Okay, the next question is, has weight loss helped your skin? So, guys, crazy. When I first started this, my skin looked crazy. It was scary. I have never broken out the way that I had when I started this particular lifestyle change. And I believe it was because my body was detoxing. Anytime that I've ever done any extreme thing to my body has a very extreme reaction. Some people will do big things to themselves and it won't do anything to them. For me, it was terrible. The second I started losing weight and I was dropping weight like a fly, my skin was breaking out, especially along my jawline. Like it was all in this area right here, guys, and on my neck. It was cystic, nasty, like just awful. Like right now, guys, underneath all this makeup, I have so many scars. My skin now is radiant. I have no acne, no nothing, because now that my body is balanced and the detox is complete, my skin looks incredible. Probably the best my skin has ever looked in my 20s, and I really do think it's because of diet. Of course, skin and diet go hand in hand. I've heard that my whole life, and I think that a lot of people will say like, don't eat this, don't eat that. But again, it's back to what is inflaming you, what is causing you to have hormonal imbalance, what is raising your cortisol levels. Like these are all things that you need to know, because what may work for someone else may not affect another person. Okay, so a lot of people say like, don't consume dairy. Now, I do consume dairy on a very small scale, but dairy does not affect my skin and never has. It's when I start eating creamy, very rich dairy things over and over again is when I notice a difference. And it's not usually in my skin, it's in my body. So if I eat like mac and cheese every day, oh, I'm gonna see it, boo. I'm gonna see it in my stomach, I'm gonna see it in my face. But I can consume dairy in small quantities. I can have a little feta on a salad. I can have a soup that has cream in it, and it does not affect my skin literally at all. So it depends on your body. I feel like I can eat dairy because I got Italian in my blood. And I feel like when you're Italian, the Mediterranean diet, baby, like it's for us. It's in our blood. It's in our genes, okay? The next person asked, discuss your hygiene more. Like how has it affected the way you smell? So I've known this for years that being skinnier will make you smell better. Usually, not everyone that's skinny smells good. A lot of people who struggle with, different disorders of certain kinds will have bad body odor being skinny. But if you were big unnecessarily and struggling with your weight unnecessarily, the more that you drop weight, the less you're gonna have to clean in between each roll and crevice. Now, for me, I've always been top tier with my hygiene and self-care. I don't walk around stinking. It's just not my thing. No matter if I'm big or I'm small, I'm gonna make sure I smell good. But I will say that certain things that naturally just build up a slight odor throughout the day have not since losing the weight. For instance, like even things like chafing, like when your legs rub together, or when you sit in the car and your stomach and like your fupa kind of touch, so you're like sweating in that one area, like when you're sitting down in like really tight pants. I don't have that issue anymore because nothing is like folding over and touching, if that makes sense. So the sweating is not as bad. The smell obviously isn't bad, and it's easier to clean myself. Like I knew I was losing weight when I would look down in the shower and I was able to see Miss Kitty Cat without having to like lift my stomach or suck in, okay? If you feel me, you feel me, okay? When we're standing up, we got a little bit of a belly child, you can't see your punani, all right? You gotta kind of take a look like that. But now I could see my girl. I'm like, oh, hey, girl. Oh, you need to be shaved, child. The stomach is not covering it. So, losing weight has you seeing different things in the shower, has you cleaning yourself a lot easier, and you don't produce odor as much. But I also think that also has a lot to do with the diet as well. When you're eating, more enriching foods, because you guys know me. It's not only that I'm eating less, but I'm also making sure that what I eat is pretty decent, okay? It's nutrient-dense foods. 9 out of 10 times, I'm eating raw. I'm eating cucumbers, peppers, fennel. I'll even eat fennel raw. I'll eat anything raw, for lunch. That's usually what I do. And then for dinner, I'll have soup. I'll have rice and salmon. I'll have salmon and, fennel. I'll just eat plain old one thing of fennel, one bulb of fennel with a drizzle of my own homemade honey mustard dressing. Guys, I will be doing a white in a day video. I know you guys are asking, so I will be doing that. But again, lots of water too, like a natural cleanser, a natural deodorizer. And also I drink a lot of peppermint tea. So look up all these things, guys. They just naturally deodorize your body from the inside out. And there's no better deodorant than food, because at the end of the day, you could be masking the smell on the outside, but if you're not attending to the internal body health, it's because there's probably something up with your diet, okay? There's probably something up hormonally inside. When somebody has very bad BO, it's usually a hormonal imbalance. The next thing I want to talk about is cortisol levels, which somebody had asked me about to touch on more. So how I knew that my cortisol levels were high, well, I noticed that the weight gain was significant whenever I would, eat. The inflammation was at an all-time high, and these are telltale signs of high cortisol levels. Let me look up. I really want to look up really quick, like other ways to know that your cortisol is high. So it says like what causes high cortisol levels is chronic stress, depression, exercising too much, eating disorders, and severe illness or injury. Also, symptoms of high cortisol levels is weight gain, breakouts of the skin, mood swings, sexual dysfunction, fatigue, and inflammation. Different ways to fix your cortisol levels. So what I personally did when I read this about myself and knew that I had this issue was I started, working out a little bit differently. You guys know I was going crazy at the gym and I'm like, I'm not seeing a difference in my face or inflammation. And then the second I stop working out as crazy, I gain a bunch of weight back. What is happening? And I realized I wasn't working out for my body and I wasn't really figuring out what was really going on with my health. So the real issue was certain things I was eating. They say alcohol is a huge thing to avoid when you want to lower your cortisol levels. Like you don't want alcohol to be a part of your daily routine, okay? I might do a video about being sober and what it has done for me, because I've been sober for, I want to say 2 months now, and it has done me wonders. And I know people like, I didn't have a drinking problem or anything like that, but I like to call it sober. Like for me, it's sober by choice, not sober because I'm an alcoholic of any sort, which it doesn't matter either way. But I genuinely have noticed such a difference in my body, my skin, how I interact with people when I go out, the amount of crazy people there are out there. Like, I feel like when you're drunk and you're at a party, you don't notice things. And now that I'm sober and I'm out, I'm like, yo, what the heck? Like, I played flip cup with my friends the other day. We were all together and I was the only one that wasn't drinking at this particular event. And like everyone at the end of the night is like delirious and out their mind. And I'm like looking around like, wow, is this what I was like? Like, sheesh. And no hate to them. People love to drink and I get it. But it was the diet that made me stop drinking. And now that I've stopped drinking, it has become a deeper meaning to me. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I also avoided caffeine and sugar. So a lot of you guys ask me, did you stop drinking Starbucks or did you stop drinking coffee? Now, first and foremost, I was never a coffee drinker. I don't really like coffee. I was getting either chai or matcha from Starbucks every single day for like the past 10 years. Every single day for the past 10 years. I swear to God, guys, it was probably maybe 1 or 2 days that I took a day off from Starbucks. Like, I was a Starbucks cereal getter. I was obsessed, and I cut it off because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I want to see if this is going to cause me to lose weight, because I was already doing the big chop with the food anyways. I said, might as well just do the whole thing. So I don't drink coffee anyways. So no caffeine for me. The only caffeine that I do consume is tea at night, and I don't even know if mine is even caffeinated. It might be decaf tea, but I drink peppermint tea and I love it. I don't even drink it every night, but I do really love it. And it kind of also helps with my sugar craving because I'll add a little bit of honey, and like the peppermint with the honey, insane. It's like, it really just it's so good. And just processed sugars in general. Like, if you guys think about it, I was getting Jersey Mike subs like every other day, Chipotle, things like that. Like, what is in these foods that is not ethical, I guess you can say. Fasting has really helped me realize it's not just about going long periods of time without eating, but it's also that when I do eat, I don't stuff my face. I do not romanticize eating anymore. That has been what has helped me. The binge eating disorder was the problem. It was the fact that I would eat and eat and eat. And even when I started to feel full, I kept eating, because you have like that internal thought that comes from childhood of you better scrape your plate clean, and you're obsessed with it. So you do it as an adult. I don't mind now as an adult to say I'm full and still have food on my plate. Who's gonna put me in timeout? I am a grown woman. I cannot eat if I don't want to. But like I said, guys, look up the medical medium and books in that nature, because they discuss more about healing the body from the inside out, cortisol levels and everything in that regard, adrenals, and just like the function of your hormones. So definitely look that up, because I can't tell you better than they can. Somebody said, what was the first thing that you noticed when you lost weight? Inflammation going down. First time I've ever noticed this. In all of my journeys, in my weight loss journey of just being, fitness, and all of the other times that I've tried doing this type of journey, this is the first time that I noticed significant changes in my face so fast. I think I took a picture of my face like the first week and I was like, yo. I remember I went out to dinner with one of my girlfriends. I'm like, girl, do you see my face? And she was like, I don't see, girl, you were never big. Like, cause your friends, they don't see the weight like you do. And I'm like, girl, like my face, like my double chin. And I always knew, because let's just say I like had my camera out and it was like down here, my chin would be like, bomb. We're like, now here, I'll record it. Now it's like, I can be down here and there's no chin. Where before it was like, bow, it was like chin, chin, chin. Jawline is on fleek. And like, I ain't never had a jawline. I thought it was in our genetics, the Gambas. Like I thought it was the Gamba genetics that we don't have a jawline. I will never forget. I went to a Botox and filler girl asking her to give me like that cut jaw, and she was like, oh, like you don't, like your parotid gland like wouldn't allow me to do something like that. And now I'm thinking she didn't do it because I was fat, and I really respect her for it. I'm so glad I didn't get it. I'm so glad I didn't get it, because I really dead ass thought that I didn't have a jaw, but now I realize I was just fat. I was just carrying weight in my face. Period. End of story. Okay, the next question is how to stay on this diet and get over your initial hunger. Okay. The first thing I did was I didn't call it a diet. I said my life is different. And you want to know something? Let me have a real talk with you guys. Let me have a real talk with you guys for a second. My battle was always, like I told you guys in the last video, that I felt like I was good looking, whatever and whatnot. But then when I would look up to certain people or like want to emulate certain people's beauty and just take some pages out of these girls' books, the one thing that they had in common was they were fit and they were thin. Lori Harvey, Meghan Markle, a lot of my favorite YouTube girlies that I love, like Tiara Walker and Brianna Monique and Aaliyah's Face, like what do they all have in common? They're all thin, okay? They're all skinny. So no matter what you do, Hailey, you could buy a shirt, a shoe, get your hair done, get your nails done. At the end of the day, you are carrying excess weight. You look crazy. And that's the truth, guys. I'm not saying that everybody who carries excess weight looks crazy. There are some people who look voluptuous and beautiful, curvy, I have to say, but I do not carry weight well. Honest. I don't. It's in my face. It's in my traps. It's in my arms. It's in my hands. Guys, none of my rings fit, okay? That's how I know that I was carrying weight in weird places, because now all my rings are loose on me because my fingers got smaller. My shoes fit better because they're not super tight. Like I have my Tom Ford heels that I've had. I never wore them out because they would cut off my circulation on my toes. And I remember thinking like, damn, I gotta go to a shoe guy to get these stretched out because my toes are suffocating in these Tom Ford heels. When I lost weight, y'all, I was like, oh, my feet were just fat. My feet were fat. The weight loss has made parts of my body look different. So back to the question was, how did you stay on this? How did you really stay disciplined? And the truth is, the discipline was, I want to be someone who is admirable, inspirational, and my word for 2024, which if you guys haven't thought about your word yet, today's the day. My word for 2024 is unstoppable. My word for 2023 was resilience. My word for 2024 is unstoppable. And when I think of somebody who's unstoppable, I think of someone who works hard, plays hard, is sexy, is beautiful, is vibrant, loves herself through and through. She has the body goals, the life goals, the money goals, and I want all that. I do. I have so much of the things that I want, and it felt very odd to me to have the house, to have the dogs, to have the car, to have the life that I've always dreamed of, but not in the body that I dreamed of. I know that sounds to some people like very vain and, oh, who cares? I care. I care. And I'm not gonna be bullied into a corner to not care about being thinner, okay? I have spent the majority of my adult life being heavy. I deserve to feel good in my skin for once. Fully. Not, oh, I'm kind of getting there, or, oh, I got a little skinnier. No. I want to get to my goal weight, period, end of story. I'm so sick of the, oh, I kind of like it, or I'm doing a lot better, or I look a lot better than before. See, no, I want to just look good, period. good period. And we're getting there, boo. We're getting there. So how I got over it was knowing that it's an inevitable. It's inevitable to be hungry. It is an inevitable to feel at first. But you want to know what keeps you disciplined on this journey is seeing the dramatic weight loss week by week. That's what kept me doing it, because I said, I don't want to go back to before. And when after a month went around, which I'll put up a picture of my first month, I looked completely different already after month 1. I don't remember how much weight I lost. Let me actually see. After a month, I lost 16 pounds. So 16 pounds later, after a month, I looked different. I felt different. My clothes were already fitting me better. And that's what kept me going, y'all. And then, here I am 2.5 months later, and I am 31 pounds down and none of my clothes fit. So it's just a beautiful journey. And I think that the reason why I stayed on it was because I saw the dramatic results and it made me happy. And for all of the people who are commenting, yeah, this is not sustainable, you're gonna gain the weight back, da-da. First of all, do not wish ill on my life. I am divinely blessed and protected by God. And God does not like that type of hatred spewed on this channel. And I know that to some people, it's like, that's not that big of a deal to say to someone. It is when you've been struggling with your weight. The last thing that somebody who's been struggling with their weight wants to hear is that they're gonna gain it back. That is fighting words to me, okay? My mom has been doing this for years and she has not gained the weight back. So I don't know what to tell you. You want to know what did make me gain the weight back was the thing that you're professing. Working out and having a decent, diet plan. The reason why I gained the weight back was because whenever life would life for me and I went a week or two without working out, my body changed drastically. That is not fair. That is so not fair for my body to change drastically because I took a week off. That's not fair. Okay. And everyone's body is different. That doesn't happen to everyone. Like my best friend, she is naturally thin. She can go months and months and months without working out and still look that way. Not everybody has that gift. Not everybody's the same. And that is just the way it is. Okay. What I want you guys to know is when you start to tap into what has been affecting you, what has been affecting your hormones, what has been making you bloat and inflamed, you will never get back to the weight you were before if you know what it is. I finally have the secrets, the book of secrets in front of me. I never had this before. I was doing a lot of trial and error and I would see a little bit of results and then maybe a lot of bit results, but they weren't the results I wanted. I now have the book of secrets in front of me. I now have seen exceptional results fast. I will never go back to the way I was before because even if, let's just say I do fall off, I know how to get back to where I'm at. I know how to get back. I know exactly what to do. Okay, so the next question that somebody asked was foods to avoid when fasting or what not to do. So don't stuff your face when you're fasting. I think a lot of people don't understand how fasting goes. And I would suggest for you to do your research, figure out like what it is that you can eat because there are intermittent fasting regimens and things like that you can follow. They'll tell you what to eat, what not to eat, whatever. What I do is when I do eat, I don't eat huge amounts of food. I don't. Surplus has never worked for me. What has always been the answer for Hailey Gamba, very low portion sizes, like small portion sizes. And if it's a veggie, I can do a lot bigger. So I can do like a whole plate of veggies and I'll be better. But if it's something like rice or fish, it's a little bit of rice, fish, a veggie. Like really balance your plate out to what works for you. Also, do an elimination diet thing. Like I said, see what foods are inflaming you. What inflames me might not inflame you. My body does not mind water. I used to think that drinking a lot of water was gonna bloat me. I now realize that it was the combination of water and the other things I was eating. Water has not bloated me since I've been on this journey. If anything, water has made me feel better. I don't have brain fog. I don't have memory issues. And I am the most focused and productive I've ever been since doing this, guys. The most focused because I thought, oh, if I don't eat as much, I'm gonna be tired all the time. I'm not gonna wanna work. The other way around, eating a lot was making me tired, was making me not productive. Now that food is not the focus of my life, I have been able to get more stuff done. The next question was, did my boobs reduce? Yes, they did. I still have pretty big breasts, but they have reduced and naturally, like, of course they did. So like right in the midst of me starting my weight loss journey, I was like having my boobs out a lot because I was worried that they were gonna like deflate and look crazy, but they haven't. They're still very perky. They're just not as big. I think I went from a double D to a D, guys. So that's pretty much the difference in my breasts. I don't know how much smaller they're gonna get because I haven't lost the rest of the weight that I wanna lose. But as of right now, they're still perky. They still look good. No stretch marks, nothing. Everyone's body is different, of course. But yes, my boobs changed and I'm happy. They were heavy. They were bulging out of shirts. Now they fit in things better. So I don't have an issue with that. And I forgot to answer this question. A lot of people were asking if I had any loose hanging skin or saggy skin, and the answer is no. I haven't had any saggy skin, even though I did lose weight really fast. 31 pounds in 2.5 months is a lot, but I have really thick skin. Like my skin isn't thin, and I don't really suffer from stretch marks from losing or gaining weight. So that's not something that I struggled with. And I like when my breasts are not the main focus. Like I like a nice boob, but I don't want the boob to look sloppy, if that makes sense. None of my clothes from my adult life fit me. I had to go home and get clothes out of my closet from my parents' house. My mom saves all my stuff because she loves me. And I literally go shopping in my closet every time I'm home. And I had to get stuff from high school to wear. Literally. For reference, I weighed 150 pounds in high school, and I will put up a picture. Everybody's body is different. By the way, also, a lot of you guys asked my height. I am 5'5.5", 5'6", and I weigh 155 now. And in high school, I weighed 150, and this was what I looked like in high school. We're getting there, boo. Obviously, the curves have changed. My body has gotten a lot more curvy, which I like. I like my curves. I don't want them to go anywhere, but I want more of like a Lori Harvey curvy, if that makes sense. Okay, the next question is, bad breath due to fasting. Yup. You ain't never tell a lie. Yeah, you do. So, of course, my oral hygiene has been stepped up. I don't know why your breath becomes bad due to fasting. What has helped me is this. I obviously brush twice a day. I water pick, mouthwash, lots of water, and do fruit water as well. And eating like super clean will help. And then also there's gum that you can buy from the store that helps with like your mouth salivating. I think fasting just naturally like dries out your mouth and you're just not eating a lot. So like, you're breathing more than you're eating, I guess. And it does make your breath stink. I haven't heard anybody say my breath stunk, but I know my breath stinks. Like I can taste it. So I have been very up to par with my oral hygiene, babes. Yeah. Has it affected your spending habits? So what's so crazy, and I'm glad you asked this question, I was door dashing every day. I was going out all the time. I was spending, I don't even want to know. I'm going to look before I post this video and I'll put it on the screen how much I was spending a week on food. But now the amount of money I spend a week on food is ridiculously low. I barely DoorDash. If I do, it's like twice a week and I'll get a poke bowl. I get the same poke bowl every day and it's $13. And my groceries are really cheap. I get like 3 different Whole Foods soups for the week and a bunch of veggies and a lot of fruit and maybe 2 TV dinners. 2 Amy's dinners that are like under 500 calories. That is all I get every week. And it's like $100 at most at the grocery store, at most. So yeah, my spending for food has been a lot lower. And that has also been motivating for me because I'm like, wow, food is no longer running my life. It's not the biggest expense anymore. Like it was literally the biggest expense. And anyone who's struggled with their weight knows that the expense that they spend the most money on a week is fucking food. It is. So now I have more money to do other things. Go makeup shopping, go shopping. And I'm not saying that I was broke because of food, but hell, damn near, sheesh. Like really looking at it, guys, like I think I was spending $400 a week on food. I really do believe that. Yep. The next question and the last question is, do I plan on doing it forever? And the answer is, I'm not sure. Doing it as long as I can and to get to my goal weight. And then I might shift my fasting because another person asked what my fasting schedule is. And right now I have the most extreme fast that I do. So essentially I do the 24 fast, which is fasting for 20 hours, eat for 4. So I eat between pretty much 4 and 8 or 3 and 7, depends on, the day. Normally it's between 3 and 7. And that has been the fasting I do. I would suggest for anyone to do the 16-8, which is fasting for 16 hours, eat with an 8-hour window. That's a great way to start. I started with 24. It was just what I started with. Very extreme, I know, but I prefer eating in a smaller window anyways. Like I feel like that excites me for those time frames. I don't need a bigger window. So I eat from either 4 to 8 or 3 to 7. That's usually my window. And then I fast for 20 hours every day. So that has been what has helped me. A lot of you guys are asking how long I think I'm going to do this for. It really depends. Like my mom's been doing it for years now. Now, is she doing as extreme of a fast as me? No, but it naturally like resets your body to not eating as much. So she naturally fasts without thinking about it. Like she doesn't do it regimented. She just kind of eats lunch at a late hour and then eats dinner at, the time she's supposed to and like eats pretty low portions. So I feel like I'll naturally just implement it into my lifestyle. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to be this forever, but I got to see. What I do know is this. I might not fast forever, but I know I'm not going to be eating certain things ever again on a religious basis. I'm not going to be eating bread, pasta, and consuming alcohol and sugary things on a daily basis. I'm not, because I know what it did to my body. And now I know to avoid those things and eat them in moderation. If I go out to an Italian restaurant with my friends and, we're having a night and I want to eat a piece of bread, I'm going to, but that's it. That is it. So that is what I'm doing. And my particular goals was to love myself through and through. And I want to promote how I feel. That is my biggest thing in life. Like, I don't want to be walking around being like, I'm so confident, I'm so great. And in reality, I was struggling with internal acceptance and issues with my weight because my weight was bothering me. Period. End of story. And if something bothers you, fix it. I am way too old. I am 26 years old. I was not going another year disliking something about myself that I knew I could change. So that is my philosophy on that. I would suggest to, watch certain YouTubers that will promote getting your body together. I watched Manifestel and Carmelita Fox. They gave the most tough love, beautiful videos that really helped me in this journey because it made me feel like, wow, that's facts, that's facts, that's facts. And it's things that we ignore when we're a little bit bigger because we don't want to believe the facts. We want to believe the body positivity movement. We want to believe that, these types of things don't affect you in life. Yes, they do. They affect how you feel about yourself. They affect whether you get the job or not. They affect how you date. They affect how people treat you. I don't care what anyone says. No matter how beautiful you are, no matter what, at the end of the day, people think that you are more disciplined, healthier, and better when you're fitter. I don't make the rules. It's just society and life. And in knowing that, I could not know this information and not at least attempt to fix this one issue in myself. And then what it did is it made me realize the things that I was actually going to improve besides actually just wanting to be skinny. Because the goal was really to lose weight. And now the goal is to just be happy because I'm mentally clearer. I'm way more confident and happy. I'm not necessarily struggling in life. I don't have social anxiety. I'm able to eat and not look at it as like the best highlight of my day. There's so many other things that are additions into my day that make more sense to like than eating. My clothes fit better. If anything, my clothes don't fit at all, and clothes genuinely just fit me overall better. I look beautiful and youthful. I feel like I look younger since I lost weight. And yeah, so many positives that came out of it. I hope this video helped you and did you well. Hopefully I answered all your questions. Any other questions you guys have, please leave them down below. But yeah, this was how I healed my gut, my cortisol levels, my IBS story, my weight loss questions, and everything in between. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Mwah.